What should I do? How does it happen? What is the roadmap? These are few of many questions that trouble early career professionals. Early Career Talks is an initiative to exactly bridge that gap between people who are in their early career and the industry. Saturday 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. as part of these early career talks, industry veterans are invited and they share their knowledge so that the early career professionals get benefited and their doubts gets clarified. Stay till the end and you will know how you can be part of this community so that you don't miss any early career talks and also all the initiatives that are taken by the company behind this early career talks, Balemarti Vamsi Enterprises. Stay till the end and you will know how you can take your early career to the next stage. And I strongly believe early career should become a launch pad and a stepping stone for a bright mid-career and prosperity. Thank you very much.
The screen is yours.
Okay, thank you. Hi all. So it was a very nice gesture from Sri Vamsi ji to invite me for this occasion. And to be honest, I thought that I will first do it without any presentation. But as I thought about it, I thought having a presentation helps in the flow. Okay, and so I would take a few moments to introduce myself. So I am Anil. My name is Anil. Is my name, and I have 10 years experience as an embedded engineer, and I have worked in different companies. I started with Bharat Electronics Limited, and then I have worked in industry in different companies. I have worked with Local Collins, which is Collins Aerospace. Then I worked with Visteon, Intel. I have been a 1 year stint at ASML in Europe. And currently I am working as a lead engineer in Siemens, Bangalore. So all through my 10 years career in embedded systems with different systems, sometimes in RTOS, sometimes in Linux, sometimes in application programming. And so it's a different set of technologies I have worked with. And so that's a general thing about myself. So why this topic? So generally when someone tells to take a topic, okay, generally we can take topics about some technology. Okay, maybe I can take something about I2C, SPI, CAN, or I can take something about RTOS, Linux, something I can take. Okay, but I thought since it is for a early career stage and generally embedded professionals, I have seen since I worked in multiple companies, I have seen some people who are very good at their job and whom I admire. There are many people whom I admire at work. So you can think maybe okay, I have 10 years experience and I worked in good companies. So maybe I am too good. Sometimes some people can think like that. Okay, but as per my own experience with the people whom I have worked with, I have seen that I have there is a lot of difference between people whom I admire and myself. So I think people in the early stage of embedded career, they are also feeling the same with themselves. Like when you start a career, you are in the 3 years, 4 years experience, and you may be thinking that how people are doing things like that. Someone is doing this, someone is doing that. How they are able to actually make things go like that. And obviously, I know most of you will have someone in your team or in your circle or in your LinkedIn circle whom you truly admire, or you think that I want to be like him or her. Okay, so that's a quite natural tendency. So in my case also, since I worked in these companies and with my experience, I have seen people who are very good, and I have observed some habits and some traits of these high performing embedded professionals. So I thought that it will be a right right thing to share it with you all, so that you can also relate, and maybe if you have any opinions, I can also hear. So that is the intention of this talk, to tell what I have observed, and so what we can learn from them, and maybe in future how to be following their footsteps. That also we can understand. So maybe we can move to the next slide. Yeah, these slides, you don't have to take it very seriously, because these titles and all these things are just it's a simple English. Like I just thought that okay, whatever in my mind, I'll write it down. So pardon me if there is some mistakes, or some points which are omitted. So first thing is that I have seen that people who are really good in their embedded work, I have seen that they are ready to face the unknown, because in our work generally we constantly face that there is something, some bug, some task, or some situation where we don't know almost nothing. It's a fresh thing. It's something coming out of the dark and staring at us, and we have to do that task, solve that bug, or or complete this thing. So imagine, like imagine you are working on you working on a project in a team, and suddenly you are getting a highly critical issue. Okay, suddenly it is coming to you. Okay, and you have encountered these things never, and you don't have a background knowledge also. So maybe you have 2 to 3 years experience, and suddenly the architect went on a leave, and and he got a bug, and it is assigned to you. Okay, so in such situations, okay, when you are getting an unknown thing, okay, an unknown technical thing, unknown challenge, okay, how will you handle it? Okay, how will you face it? So that tells something about yourself, about your technical self. Okay, and so suppose I am working in a team, and if my colleague is getting, okay, imagine I'm working in a context, and my colleague is getting a highly critical task, and none of us has worked in that particular item, and if I see that that he is trying to solve this puzzle, okay, by seeing the methods, okay, by seeing how he is approaching it, okay, how he is facing the unknown, okay, with that or he or she, okay, facing the unknown, we can understand the level, the technical proficiency of the individual. Okay, it's not about the actual background knowledge, because everyone is on the same place at this time, same place, but there is a method, okay, of facing the unknowns. So I have seen that whoever are good architects, or good high performers, good embedded professionals, they don't actually be in a reactive mode, that I don't know this, I will not do it, I am not ready to do it, it's not my task, how can you expect me to do it? These kind of words, or this kind of behavior does not come from a person who is actually technically competent, or who is who has that that approach. Okay, so how you face the unknown things, tell something about yourself to others, to your team members, to your company, that okay, suppose you get something unknown, try to figure it out, and try to dig more deeper into it, try to collaborate, and if it is far above your level, which you can within the tight time limit, you cannot do it for 100% sure, then try to communicate, buy some time. So these are all the strategies by which you can actually face the unknown, and the unknown thing is unknown only for a few moments. The moment you get it, it is unknown. But as you look on the left side of it, then the right side of it, okay, back side, front side, okay, you run along with it, slowly it becomes known to you. Okay, so once you are involved in a issue, once you are involved in a task, after 1 or 2 days itself, it becomes a slightly known thing. Okay, but I have seen that some people actually completely be reactive, and they close their door to that unknown issue. But I have seen that high performers, architect levels, all these people, they face it. So this is one thing. First thing I want to tell, that facing the unknown thing is a quality. Okay, and how you face the unknown things in one way or so. That is the first thing which I want to tell about facing the unknown. So you have to develop a habit of being comfortable with not knowing things. Okay, that's an important step in becoming a a higher level professional. So, that's it. Then maybe the next thing. Okay, the next thing. Okay, the next thing is be ready to communicate. Okay, so as you have seen, as I also worked in Bangalore. I worked in Mysore, Bangalore, Chennai. Okay, little bit abroad also. So I have seen that I have seen many people. Okay, who are very talented. Okay, whose logical skills, whose problem solving skills, these are all very good, but they are not ready to speak up. That means if you are getting a task, an issue, okay, or a new development task, anything, you should be ready to communicate. That if someone gives you a task, or are dragged into a task, you should be ready to communicate. And if you don't know things, you should be ready to ask for help. Okay, and asking for help, that's an important thing. Okay, there are some people who, what they do, they always ask for help. The first step is asking help, then you give them a solution, they again ask for help. Okay, this is not a trait which we see in high performing and embedded professionals. The high performing individuals, they communicate well, and the thing is that they generally discuss things. Okay, what they do, they discuss things. They are not directly asking for help. Okay, they go through the task, they go through the work, they understand something, then they discuss about whether this is right or wrong, whether it can be like this or like that. And this is something to do with the psychology of people also. Okay, because the people around you, the teammates around you, they should not feel that you are actually taxing on them. That you ask one question, get the answer, go back again, ask another question. So it will actually make people a little bit kind of they will have their inhibitions, because they have to stop their work, or they have to stretch extra. Okay, there are many people who actually can go to any extent to help other people. That's one thing. But in general, to be a to the trait, what I have seen from high caliber professionals is that they first try some things, then ask for suggestions. They try something, then ask for suggestions. And in that case, I have seen that the communication is very good. Because people know that, okay, you have tried this far and you are getting stuck here, then you are asking about it and you are discussing. Can it be like this or can it be like that? So you should be ready to communicate. Some people actually, they work in silos. What they do, they get stuck with an issue. They try to debug or find out, and they don't communicate. Maybe at some time, they realize that they are in a very wrong direction they are going. But it might be too much costly to the project or the, for themselves. It can happen. Okay, because with my experience across different companies, I've seen people working very good in one company. Okay, they come to another company and they are not at all performing. So we will be surprised. Okay, why? Because by seeing the past history or past records, we will expect some person to be high performing, but there can be a communication barrier there. Like because people work in a comfortable. If you work in a team for 3-4 years or something, you are in your own comfortable place. Then you move to another company, and then you get a task. Okay, and then you are not able to communicate. It might, the dynamics. How much comfortable you are feeling and all. But whatever be the case, I have seen that high performing individual, generally they are ready to communicate. They are not shy away in communicating. So they ask for help only after trying, and they like to discuss things. So this is a strategy which we can always use. That before asking for help, try something, then ask for help. But try something and then discuss things. So it I have seen that, because I have seen that many people highly qualified, they are also not shying away from discussing. I have seen that in some places, like suddenly the architect level person, they call, okay, come on, I want 2-3 people to discuss. Then they go together, okay, or we all sit together. Then he throws a problem that this is what I am facing, and this is what I think what is going on wrong. So if he is not ready to communicate, whatever experience you learn, if you are not ready to communicate well, it's not good for technical progress. That's it. So that's the second point I want to make. Be ready to communicate. So have a conversation. It's a professional space, so you can always communicate and try things, ask for help, discuss things, and communicate well. So that's the second thing what I have understand from high performance. So maybe we can go to the next slide. Okay. Oh, okay. Since I didn't put the slide number, I'm not very sure it's the third or fourth slide. That's fine. Okay. But it's like, okay, fine. Okay. That's fine. So you can see, okay. Now, another thing, okay. There are people, we know that in embedded systems are all over the world. Okay. Even in Bangalore, you see, or in Chennai, you see, or in Delhi, you see, or Pune, Noida, Gurgaon, wherever you see, you will see maybe 100 embedded companies. Okay. And one company might be working in automotive, one company might be working in e-commerce, one company might be working in motor controls, one company might be working in avionics, some other company might be working in security systems, some other company might be working in Bluetooth, some other thing in Wi-Fi, okay, some might be Zigbee is the protocol, okay, and some other company, might be working, in a different project. So the thing is that some companies work in defense domain also, some companies work in avionics domain and aerospace domain. Many different companies work in different projects, okay. And but if you see, there are some best practices which are generally followed in good projects or in general embedded projects. There are some best practices which are recognized everywhere. Okay, so you should be able to look for the best practices. Okay, so following a coding standard is a best practice, and different companies will have different kind of coding rules. But the important thing is that you make it a practice. You are working company X, okay. In the company X, if there is a coding standard, if you write code following the coding standard, that's a best practice, okay. So even if you go to company B, you will have the best practice with you, okay. And maybe in company A, you are using some design pattern, okay. And design patterns, they are everywhere. So if you are following a design pattern in company A, even if in company A you are working in a team and you change the team, okay, but that design pattern, whatever you worked or whatever you have learned, okay, it is actually best practice, okay. If you write this pattern, you will save memory, or if you work in this pattern, you will save time, okay, or it will be more efficient, or the code is more elegant. So these kind of best practices, you should try to add to your bucket. So as your career grows, whatever best practice you see, identify that, okay, this is a best practice, okay, I think this will be useful, and deliberately learn it. Understand that it is a weapon in your armory. So for example, I have mentioned here, imagine you are using a test library, okay, say Google Mock, and you are asked to test a system library. That means, okay, it's like Google Mock, CPP unit. There are many test frameworks by which you can test C programs and C++ programs, etc. Okay, maybe Java, I think JUnit something is there. So these kind of testing libraries, okay, people use at multiple places, okay. And suppose in one company you are working and they ask you to test a system library, okay. Suppose maybe libc, okay. If a company is asking you to test functions inside the libc library using Google Mock, okay. If someone tells you that, okay, and you learn it, okay, you learn it years, and you look at the documents and you learned it, okay. Now that is a best practice, because if you go to another company, they may be using another test framework, and you may have to test some other system library, some other function in the system library. So if you have learned it, if you have assimilated this best practice, that will help you in doing your work better in the next team or in the next project or in the next company. Okay, so these things will add your value. So I have seen that I know people who have worked in 5-6 different companies, and I know people who are only in 3 companies. Okay, the thing is that it does not make a difference that you are working in more companies will make you a better architect or better product engineer or better embedded professional. It's actually a myth. The thing is that how many best practices you have accumulated over the years, that will make you a strong professional. I've seen a person who has worked only in 2 companies, and he was very good embedded professional, and he was because over the years, over the around 15 years experience he had, and over the years he has accumulated a lot of best practices. So if he get a problem, he know what is the best approach followed in the industry. Okay, so accumulating the best practices is a very important skill or it's a very important habit of high performing professionals. So okay, maybe we can move to the next point. Okay, this thing. Okay, being language agnostic. Okay, so I have seen that many people, once they start with the technology, okay, some people when they start with a language or technology, they're becoming more tied to it. What I say, they're adamant about it. That I am working in C, I will only work in C. I am working in C++, I will only work in C++. Okay, I know Python, I am always going to work in Python. Okay, being language agnostic or technology agnostic is very important. Why? Okay, because in my career I have seen that earlier days Perl was being used. Okay, Perl scripting was the main thing. I also worked in Perl scripting for some time. Okay, and after some time I see that Python is coming into picture. Okay, in some places I have seen some projects are using Ruby. Ruby is also another scripting language. Okay, and so you see, Perl was being used, Ruby was being used, Python is now always at many places. Python is being used. Okay, in avionics domain, earlier ADA was being used. Now also some projects use ADA language. Okay, so if you are working in ADA and you work in ADA for 4 or 5 years, and suddenly things are moving towards C or C++, if you are feeling discomfortable, okay, that is not a good thing for learning. Okay, so what I have seen that highly performing professionals, they have a way of smoothly transitioning to the next thing. Okay, it's like you are working in C. Okay, the next project or the project is slowly shifting towards C++. When the time comes, they will be ready with that. That means when the project is at the C++ level, the professional also will be at the C++ level. Okay, this is a quality I have seen in different people. And also JavaScript. If you see JavaScript, okay, and I have seen that one person, he was mainly into embedded C and a good C programmer. Okay, suddenly there was a requirement to work with JavaScript. Okay, he was very quick. In 3-4 days, he was like coding in that, or he was solving problems in that. So it's not okay. So it depends on the learnability of the people also. It is not that hard to learn a new technology or a new language on a preliminary or a basic level to get the things done in most cases. Okay, so you should not have your fear or your inhibitions should not stop you from learning a new language or a new technology. Okay, so think that it's just a tool. Language is just a tool. It helps to have a method of quickly getting the essentials. You have to do something, you need some tool. Language is that. Okay, so to think that I have to be algorithmic trading in C++ to write a GUI in C++. These two are different things. So you should not, that thing should not stop you. I mean, I have seen the highly skilled embedded professionals, they are language agnostic. They are worried about the problem, they are worried about the task, and what is the tool required for that. So that is an important thing, which I think that's why I noted it down. And next thing, okay, The spelling may be wrong. I'm not very sure because I said absorb and emanate. I think okay. I think it's something like you absorb things, okay, and you also give it out. You spread it. If someone come in contact with you, he or she also will get the knowledge. That's I mean by emanate. Spelling I'm not very sure. Okay, so absorb and emanate the knowledge. Okay, the thing is that uh, the good professionals or the really talented people or really hardworking people, or they are not they don't feel threatened by sharing knowledge. Okay, the thing is that if you want to learn things, someone has to tell you. Okay, someone has to write something, someone has to talk to you about that, or someone has to show you. Okay, all these things only help you to learn. Okay, so you should also be ready to do the same. You should not feel threatened by sharing knowledge. If you are in a project working with other people, there is no harm in sharing knowledge. And if you don't know something, there is no harm in asking also. Okay. You don't have to feel intimidated. Okay, because there is some saying is that if you ask a question, you are a fool for only some 5 or 10 seconds. If you don't ask a question, you are a fool forever. Okay, so that's a very important point. That's a trait I have seen with embedded professionals also. Okay, because I have seen people with 10 years, 15 years experience listening to the junior developers or junior engineers, and they also okay, I think you are right, or it may be correct, or maybe you can try this also, or even if the junior engineer is wrong also, I've seen that people tell, oh, give it a try, and then come back to me, tell me what is happening. Okay, so they are not threatened, or they are not threatened by sharing knowledge, and they are not ashamed to admit and ask for missing things. So this is a thing which you have to develop. Okay, it depends on the personality, but it's an important ingredient for growing as a professional. That don't be threatened by sharing knowledge, and don't be ashamed to admit and ask for missing things. And the major thing is that the industry is too big to feel intimidated by someone. Okay, so generally people have this closed sphere approach. Okay, you think if you're working in a team and there is some person, if you ask a question, someone is telling that, oh, you don't know even this, you don't know even that. Okay, there may be some people like that. Okay, but you don't have to be intimidated by that person, because industry is too big. Industry is not only one sphere. There are many spheres. Okay, there are many projects, many teams. Okay, so, and definitely if someone is not behaving properly, you have to raise the issues with the HRs and all these things. But some people, even if you ask a question, if they don't answer anything, it is a fault for them, because you may be having a point with you which will enhance his or her knowledge also. Okay, maybe your suggestion is an important thing. Okay, it may brighten up their mind also. So if they are closing the doors, it's their problem. Okay, but we should generally, I have seen the embedded, high performing individuals. They are not like this. They generally they share the knowledge, and they are not ashamed and ask for missing things. So that's another thing. So next thing, okay, yes, this is one thing I have seen makes a major difference between people who are high performers and people who are just getting the job done. There are concepts. Okay, there are concepts about work-life balance. There are concepts about fixed hours of work. There are concepts about there are many concepts. Okay, these concepts are actually good also. I don't deny that. But the thing is that I have discussed with multiple people, architect level people, very good people, very sharp. And good means I mean embedded level. Okay, I don't know personally they are good or not, but embedded wise, knowledge wise they are very good. Okay, and when I have talked to them, because I have seen that they spend time more than the office hours. I don't say that they actually sit in the office for 12 hours. I never tell that. Okay, I don't say that sitting in the office 12 hours from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I don't never tell that. Okay, but I have seen that. Okay, I've seen that they actually learn things. They actually try things which are required for the projects. Sometimes on the evening, sometimes on the morning, sometimes on the weekend also. Okay. It is not by external compulsions. It's not from that your manager is telling you to come on weekends or okay, I want you to do it every day. You should be online till 9 o'clock. Not like that. I see in the high performing individuals, they are trying to place the project above themselves when needed. If there is something, some release is going to happen on this day. Okay, these high performing individuals, they themselves tune themselves. They tune their day in a such a way that they don't count the hours. They learn, they try things, and they are almost ready. When the situation comes. So the sometimes stretching becomes inevitable depending on the team and the project. So be positive about it if you can. Okay, it's like if you're becoming sometimes if you don't know something and because of you everyone has to sit late, the deadlines are getting missed, then it's a cause of concern on the performance level of yourself. You have to introspect and improve. Okay, if you are becoming a bottleneck for the project, then you have to openly discuss and learn things and improve. That is one thing. Okay, but otherwise, if the overall the project you feel important for that, there is no shame in putting extra hours at your own will. Okay, it's not being what do you say being exploited or something on a professional level, because that kind of things actually will grow you. It will give you visibility that you are a person who is committed enough to put some time. Okay, even if you don't tell anyone also, people will understand, because the difference is very visible. Someone who works for 8 hours in the office then forget about the project, someone who carries the project with him, okay, that difference is always visible, because that's how things, if you get attached to something, you will be a pro in it, more pro in it. Okay, so it varies person to person how they respond to the extra work. Like I'm not telling about company is telling you, project is team is telling you. Okay, that is another thing. It may be a planning problem, but you have to place the project above yourself sometimes. And I have seen the high performers generally they don't mind it. Yeah, that's an important thing. I think maybe we can go to the next point. Okay, very important. Okay, so suppose you are doing a job or you're doing a task, consuming your time and you are involved in it, you are trying to do it every day, and the year days are becoming weeks are becoming months, and it goes on. Okay, the thing is that there is something called learning from the neighborhood. Okay, so it's like the guy or girl next to you might be working on something which can be your future career. So you have to show your curiousness. Like I remember at one place I was sitting behind, I was sitting nearby a lady, and she was very good, technically very good, and she used to discuss technical points with someone else. Okay, and who were sitting, myself and other people, they were able to listen what she's telling, and we were actually wondering, oh, there is so much she knows. Okay, and if you are getting curious, okay, you can actually go and ask. Okay, I find it very interesting. Okay, so can you tell me what exactly is this thing which you are doing, or what is the problem you are trying to solve? So show curiousness. Generally, people who are knowledge oriented and hyper people, they don't actually limit people. Oh, you're not from my project, I will not tell you. That kind of things generally will not be there. Okay, if you show your curiousness, something which you are currently doing, maybe you are doing it right. Okay, but there might be something else around you happening in the team, in the project, which is more fit for you, and if you start that, you may be very good at it. So these kind of things you have to learn from the neighborhood. Okay, so talk to people. If some keywords are flying in your air, okay, you are in your cubicle and you are listening to some keywords from other cubicle, this cubicle, that cubicle, catch them. Okay, catch them and and read them and understand it. Okay, if you find it interesting, talk to them. Okay, so learning from the neighborhood, especially in many companies, it's like there are a lot of good things happening. Very 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 interesting projects, very interesting technologies. Okay, you want to work in cloud. Okay, maybe the guy or girl sitting next to you working in the cloud. Okay, you want to learn about machine learning. Okay, someone else might be working with machine learning. Okay, don't hesitate. Okay, try the neighborhood, and it helps because you are actually getting exposed to the real industrial projects on your company itself. That will help. And the neighborhood can be LinkedIn also. Okay, but it's best to best to have something core to work upon also than reading. That also matters. Yeah, that is one important point. Learning from the neighborhood. Then maybe next point. Okay, this is a very important thing. Okay, since I have okay, I used to I took a 3 months break, and at that time I used to do career guidance. I did some freelancing, and I was very happy about it. At that time, many people, many embedded professionals, I have met, I discussed with many people that they don't like testing. Okay, I am a testing professional, and I want to be a developer. I don't like testing. I don't know. I don't see any future in that testing. Okay, I am telling you. Okay, testing is not a secondary job. Okay, testing is a very important job in the embedded world, and it has its own growth verticals. If you like testing, if you are able to do testing, if you are able to understand testing, and if you do testing with understanding, okay, that's a very important thing. You are testing, suppose you are working in a automotive domain, and you are testing using CAN protocol or vector CAN or CAN laser. You are testing some features of the some ECU. Okay, you are seeing some ECU messages, and you say that okay, this ECU message is coming corrupt, and you raise a bug and you give it to the developer. Okay, but mechanically doing it, it may not give you satisfaction much. Okay, thing is that if you test things by the and also get the understanding behind it, you can grow very fast and you can grow very well, because testing actually exposes the vulnerabilities. Testing shows the weakness of the design. Okay, and testing also shows the strengths. So you will be, and testing is the overall picture. Generally, testing is an overall picture. Okay, because if I am writing some I2C driver, okay, I may be writing some value to the register, and that's done. Okay, but as a tester, you might be giving different bit rates, different addresses, corrupted things, and all this and that. So you may have a different view than me. Okay, so testing is never a secondary job. So if you are a tester, there is nothing bad in it. If you want to be a developer, if you are from a testing background and you are moving to a developer, you will be a better developer, I will say. Okay, so testing can teach many things which only development would not teach. Also, being a well-rounded professional helps in the long term. So that's what I tell about high-performing professionals. They are well-rounded. They don't mind testing. They know how to test, and they test well. Okay, they know how to use the test frameworks well, and because they know how to test, right? Use the test frameworks well. Their code is more robust because they know things like test-driven development and how to unit test the things, how to write the unit testing, all these things. So their code is more robust than a person who don't know testing. So never be under the impression that you are a tester, or testing is a not, or testing is secondary. Testing is never a secondary job. So that's a thing which I have observed, during my interaction with people. Maybe next thing. Okay, this is like failing in interviews. Okay, so you will think that okay, in a high-performing embedded professional discussion, why I am bringing this topic of failing in interviews are normal. Okay, I am telling you, if you are working in a team, you are knowing people working in the team, technology being worked in the team. Okay, but when you go to an interview, you are seeing another set of embedded professionals. Okay, the person who are interviewing you may be a very good professional. Okay, and he have a lot of depth in his understanding about the concepts which you don't have. Okay, so if you go to an interview, okay, and you sit in front of someone like that, there is chance that you will fail. Okay, because his understanding about static function and your understanding about static function might be completely different. His understanding about redundancy, thread, and RTOS might be completely different about your understanding. Okay, his understanding about volatile keyword will be different from your understanding, because you might have learned the theory. Okay, volatile is this, volatile is that, but he would have used it in 3 projects. Okay, so when you go to the interviews, there are chances that you sit in front of these highly skilled embedded professionals and you fail. Okay, there are chances. Okay, but failing, that's what, failing in interviews are normal, because there are many people who are very good out there and their experience level is good and their embedded knowledge is good. But the thing is that learn from your failed interviews. That's the question which people ask you in interview. Reveal something about themselves, reveal something about their talent also, about the technology which they work also. Okay. So these things are like, some, what to say, a fish bait, So you get a bait. Okay, okay, this thing, okay. This is an important thing which you should know. Okay. Maybe cyclic dependency or something, maybe MCDC coverage. Okay. So I have seen, because I have taken interview in different places in my career. So I have seen when I have avionics, I think MCDC coverage was an important thing. And when I asked question about MCDC coverage, many people don't know that. So, but the thing is that, okay, I also didn't know. When I didn't work, I didn't know. But at least I expect the candidate to catch the word, okay, MCDC coverage. So if you then, okay, see what is MCDC coverage. So this kind of learning from interviews, your failed interviews, okay, successful interview, if you're successful, you will be inside the team, then you can learn from the persons, okay. Failed interview, you have to do yourself. Successful means you are inside that environment, you can learn from others. Then second thing, okay, this is an important thing, okay. So what do you think? The companies are taking interviews, they are hiring people. Do they already know that this person is going to be a high performer or not? Like how your colleagues are being selected, okay. Think about that. Okay. It's not like that you can actually judge a person's work from the interview performance. These two things are quite different. Okay. So if you have a bad interview, you have a bad experience, does not mean that you will be a failure in the work also. Understand? No. So you should not judge yourself that you are not fit for the work. Suppose you are a device developer, or you are a automotive software engineer. You work, you go for an interview and you didn't get it. Okay. It does not mean that that kind of company, that kind of work is not suitable for you. Okay. So only thing is that the interview was not good for you, because judging about the work can only happen when you work with them. Okay. So be hesitating to give your full attempts in going to a place where you want. Okay, where your talent is recognized, or you can do very well. Okay, if you feel something is there, you should always strive for that. So I have seen that even the high performer, that's what, even the high performer, highly technical people I have seen, means whom I think that are very good embedded architects, I have seen that they are failing interviews. Okay, I can specifically tell an example of one or two persons whom I know. They they are very good. I know that very good. They are very good. Their project skills are good. They work very well, but they are failed. And they are telling, when I discussed with them, they are telling that it's like not here. It's like some years before. Okay, and that person is currently in Europe, and that person told me, I don't know. I am not able to crack the interview. Okay, why he was not able to crack the interview? Because he went to attend an interview where there are competitive programming questions. Okay, competitive programming questions. Okay, and this guy, I know that he is very good. He has implemented some secure RTP things, and he has gone to US also. He came back and he was doing very well. He is very much appreciated. He know device drivers also. He can, if you ask him to write a Linux device driver, he will write it. Then another, that kind of ability he has, and he has proven in the project. He's appreciated across the teams. Okay, but he failed in interview because I think they asked him to program something like something. Okay, so I don't remember the question. But it's a competitive programming question. Okay, so see, the thing is that if you want to pass an interview, okay, which asks you competitive programming, you have to practice. People practice in Lead Code, Hacker Earth, Hacker Rank, kind of things. 3 months, 4 months. I even met a person, okay, who has I think 6 months or 2 years something he has prepared. Okay, and that's another whole game. Understood? No. So if you're highly good embedded engineer or high performer does not mean that you can crack every interview. Okay, so you should not like that also. That you go for an interview, you fail. That means I'm not a good embedded professional. Okay, I cannot be an embedded professional. You should not do that. Okay, so that's why I put this slide. That failing in interviews are normal. Learn from your interviews. Don't judge the work from the interview. Okay, maybe you can go to the next slide. Okay, keep a watch on your spare time. Okay, I'll tell you a example story. Okay, because of this. Okay, when I was working with Europe, I had a colleague. Working in Europe, I had a colleague. Okay, and there was some vacation, some 7 days vacation or something, some 7-day vacation. What he did, he didn't go out. That 5-6 days, he didn't go out. Okay, he was at home, and he was learning some book. He prepared for the next task. Okay, and he showed me that what he has learned and what. So I'm not saying to imitate him, but I'm telling you that these highly skilled embedded professionals, okay, they use their spare time very effectively, and they use their spare time technically. Okay, that's because if you want to develop your skills or grow in your career beyond a point, okay, only learning from the work during the working time might not be sufficient. Okay, everything learn only from the task which I am given to you. Okay, that might not be possible. Okay, so if you want to develop your skills, you have to, or you want to be a highly performing individual, keep a watch on your spare time. The time other than the working hours, evenings, mornings, weekends, holidays, all these times, how you are spending, okay, what you are doing at that time, in a day, or in a week, or in a month, or in a year, that actually matters. Because I have seen that people high performing, they accumulate a lot of things during that time. Okay, and this will come handy in their work. So it's like, I wake up, I directly go to office. Someone actually wake up at the 3 o'clock in the morning. He did his exercise, food, and he read for 2 hours. Okay, and he did some coding practice, and then he is coming to office. Okay, then if you are almost at the same background level, then when we start, the other guy will be much ahead, because he is already awakened person, embedded awakened. I can say he's already embedded awakened. So if you want to be embedded awakened, you have to keep a watch on your spare time. That's a very important thing. So maybe we can go to the next slide. I think there may be 1 or 2 slides, I think. Okay. This is okay. This is also important thing. Don't shy away from processes and standards. Okay. It's true that people like to develop code, and they want to develop code. Put what to say, git push. Okay, git commit. Okay, all these pull requests, create pull requests. This is a habit. Okay, but never shy away from processes and standards. Okay, the processes are there for a reason. Okay, writing good requirements, test report, test cases, all these are important. Okay, and sometimes you may have to do some certifications if needed. Okay, and if you are there is some audit is happening, be a part of it, and try to learn a standard which is, if you are in medical industry, there are some standard. Avionics, there is some DO 178 BEC, like that. Automotive ISO 26262, like the different standards are there. Okay, so if you are having some time, and agile or waterfall, whatever spiral development methods, try to understand about the process and standard also. Okay, if you are working in agile team, try to see what is agile and extract feature, replica, all these things. It will help you. Okay, it will help you to understand what non-developers are doing. Understand? No? Your manager or project manager, PO, okay, or there are many people, quality, QA team. Okay, what is their work? What is their life look like, and why they are telling you to do something like this? Maybe maybe thicken this margin. Okay, put lines under this. Okay, or make it capital, or order it in this way, and you have to write this first, or you have to do this first, and then you can go to this place. You have to understand the full picture of an organization and a project. You have to process. That's it. You should not think it's not my business. That kind of mentality I don't see, because I generally see that people try to keep an understanding about the process also. like, okay, am I following the process? Because if it is mandatory to follow the process, you cannot actually go away from it if you are working in that particular project. Okay, so process and project are very much interlinked. So if you want to be a high performer, it is better to know about the process as well. So don't shy away from the processes. Yeah, that's an important thing. Maybe the next point. Okay. Okay. I think I'm taking a little bit more time. Sorry for that. But still, beware of idealism. Okay. I don't know the spelling of idealism, right or wrong. So I have seen people, in an embedded career, when discussing with people, some people want to be a device driver developer. That is what they want to do. I want to do device driver developer. Linux device drivers is my key. It is the ultimate stuff. Okay. What do you want to do? I want to be a device driver developer. Okay. Some people want to be AutoSAR developer. Okay. Or C++ developer, ML engineer. Okay. Like that. Okay. So people think that, being a device driver developer is the ultimate stuff. Okay. Being an AutoSAR developer is the ultimate stuff. C++ engineer is the ultimate stuff. Or ML engineer is the ultimate stuff. Okay. This ultimate stuff craving, I have not seen in highly skilled engineers because they are good. Okay, if they are working in device drivers, they are good in device drivers. If they are working in automotive, they are good in automotive. I know people from all these categories. Like I know good device developers, very good AutoSAR developers, good C++ engineers, very good ML engineers. Because it is about being good at something you like. Okay, which takes care of your financial, physical, and mental health is the ultimate stuff. Okay, it does not mean that if you are a diamond cutter, if you are a very good diamond cutter, okay, you might be earning 10 times more than an ML engineer. Okay, it's not like that. A diamond cutter is not a highly skilled profession, and a ML engineer is a highly skilled profession. So you should not think. Generally, I understand. Okay, generally what happens is that it's all about stories or what is rumors or gossips or something going on the air. Okay, suppose my friend's friend is a device developer and he's earning 1 crore. Okay, that news come to my friend, then to my friend, like finally come to me. Okay, suddenly I think, okay, oh man, I should have done device development. That should have been my pick because I will think that should have got that 1 crore. Okay, many times it is the package. Okay, but actually make people think that this is the ultimate stuff. But I'm telling you, okay, if you are good at something, okay, whether it's in testing, CAN protocol, normal application programming, device driver, ML, anything, Python, Ruby, anything, if you are good above a level, there will be always people ready to pay you. And in that, after some time, you will not see the difference. Okay, it's a concept. Okay, it's a what is it? It's a kind of idealism. We idealize some people or some kind of work based on some parameters. Okay, so that parameter sometimes it's money, sometimes it's location, sometimes it's a company name. Okay, company A is a great company. Someone is telling that A is a great company. Does not mean that if you work in A, you will get work satisfaction. Okay, that is uncorrelated. Okay, there is no data substantiation that if you work in a great company, your life will be good. Okay, so you have to think about that also. That what you are idealizing. Okay, why you are idealizing. If you are doing something, you are liking it, try to be good in it, and if you are good in it above a level, all these other things will fall in place. That's the general thing. Maybe next point. I think another points. Okay, learn to handle failures as well. That's the main thing. Getting too frustrated by failure to perform is not good. Like if you are working in some place and you always feel that I am lacking behind, and getting too frustrated by failure to perform is not good. Okay, improve your competence, ask for help, have an open discussion with other people, and because I know people who switched from one domain to another domain and became very good in it. It means if you see the guy working in the other domain, he's very good. But if someone from this domain sees him, oh, how can he do so well? Okay, or he or she. Okay, so improve your competence, ask for help. Otherwise, ask for help, or have an open discussion with people, or try some other domain that which you feel comfortable. And the main thing is that there will always be people smarter people than you. Okay, if you are Gen X, millennial, or baby boomer, or you are born in 1900. Okay, every time, every place, there will be smarter people than you. Okay, so you should learn to work with them. Okay, you should not shy away from them, or you should not keep a distance with them. Okay, if there is some smarter people is there, accept it. Okay, they are smarter, good. Learn from them. Okay, and work with them. Learn to work with them and learn from them. Because sometimes if some people are very fast, very good, it is tough to work with them because they are so ahead. Okay, but you have to keep the pace. You try to be at a level that you are not far behind, and you are considered and learn from them. So it will actually improve your speed also. That if you are trying to catch a fast moving train, you will run in a faster way, isn't it? So you should think in that way. So yeah, I think that might be my last slide. I think so. Maybe we can move to the next slide. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so that was the main thing, and of course, I took a little more time. Sorry for that. Maybe if there is any you want to ask, anyone has any questions, you can ask. I'm open to questions.
Yeah, please. The session is open for questions. But before any questions come, I would definitely say that this is something, Anil, I think we should do as an interview, and you can elaborate the answers. I am ready to go for 1 hour, 2 hours. These answers have to be broken into small videos, and they have to be circulated to the maximum number of people, so that they really become what a true embedded engineer really is. It is not technology, it is not having fascination or passion towards some language, but it is that inherent and ingrained ability or the passion to solve problems, to contribute something. I mean, this is a speech I thoroughly enjoyed. I think yours is 21st or 22nd tech talk, including some of my tech talks. This is purely non-technical, but this is so vital. Like, this is like a heartbeat, oxygen, vitamin, mineral for an embedded engineer. Very few people. I mean, the people I am seeing the people. Yeah, there is one question actually. How high performance engineers balance their work life? You can go ahead with the question, Anil. Hello. Is my voice audible? Type yes in the chat box if my voice is audible. Okay. So, Anil, you have a question. Okay, Anil, there is a question: how high performance engineers balance their work life, from Ajay. Your voice is not audible. This is in fact a very valid question, and I struggled with it for quite a good amount of time. So Ajay, can I answer from my side until Anil comes? My perspective. Okay, this is exactly the reason why I have learned Python. When I was working for Bosch, I heard about Python because I was in Germany at that point of time, and our counterpart was writing a test framework that would invoke Python and do some tests. So I was thinking that Python at that point of time was actually for testing frameworks and testing and all those things. Somehow that thought stuck with me till even to my Cisco days, my startup days, and all those things. What I did when I wanted to have work-life balance is I really learned Python, and I picked up this book called a book called Automating Boring Stuff with Python. So to get my work-life balance, I have automated most of my development activities. My Git check-in, Git checkout, scrubbing my mails and showing me everything I automated. I did lot of shell programming and Python code. So that was one technical way of doing the work-life balance that I achieved. And obviously I used to maintain a to-do list, and I used to see that what are those top 2 things I will do for today. Somebody comes and trying to disturb me out of those 2 things, I will say that I will only reach out to you after this is done. And people initially felt offended, saying that sorry, not today. But later, when I explained to that person, they really understood that okay, this person, when he comes to office, he doesn't want to. I normally don't waste time on tea. I don't chat. It's all personal, but I go for lunch and I immediately come back. 8 hours solid work I used to put. No chit chatting, no nonsense, no bullshitting, no talking about others bad, no bad mouthing, no water cooler gossips, nothing. I don't want to talk about anyone which is not. See, I will tell you this. Don't do anything that you are ashamed of telling to your parents. You understood the power of this statement? Don't do anything that you are ashamed to tell your parents. So I definitely never used to talk bad about anyone, and I never used to hear also. When I know that these people are talking about that manager, this lady, that I used to run away from that place. So these are some traits which really made me stand apart, and they helped me a lot. And that's where, because I was able to utilize the time, which actually brought work-life balance into my life, because by sharp 5 to 5:30 I used to be out of office. Yeah, maybe I would like to even hear from Anil.
No?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, there was some issues. Sorry for that. Okay, regarding this work-life balance, there are 2 concepts. Okay, people think, okay, generally I have seen in Europe, the people like Vamshiji mentioned, there are people who come on time, they spend very little time on the coffee machine and lunch time, they do their work, then they are out of office at sharp time, and they have a life, like they are like 8 hours work, and their rest of the time is their time. Okay, but in India, it's like, it depends on the team and which client you are working with. If you are working with some other client, some other country client and not, it might be tough to, maybe you have to stay on the second half of the day, or you have to come early, you start the work early. So there is some, some adjustments there. But the general thing about work-life balance is that it is depending on the definition of the work-life balance. Okay, the work-life, there are 2 things, isn't it? For many people, these things are like that boundary is not very sharp. Okay, there are people who consider this, because this keeping the sharp boundary is a mindset. Okay, like I will work for 8 hours, then I will enjoy 16 hours. Okay, for some people, that 8 hours work, they like to think about it. Generally, the things will not go out of your mind. Okay, if you invest 8 hours, the things will stay with you in the after the 8 hours boundary also. Okay, some people actually address that. Okay, I did not complete this, I want to complete it. Okay, if the work-life balance related thing is chosen by you, no, I want to put 2 more hours, 2 more hours to learn. Okay, I want to put 3 more hours to understand this. Okay, by tomorrow when I go to office, I want this to be finished. Kind of things. If it is coming from you, okay, it is also part of life only. Okay, because nobody is telling you to, invest that extra time. Okay, but if it is like, due to the project constraint, if it's happening like, you have to spend 2 more hours, like, if you are signed up for 8 hours work, then you have to put 10 hours. Okay, in that time, it is not in your hands. You should understand that. Okay, it's depending on the project, your team, and the external situation. If it's internal, okay, work-life balance, if a decision is coming from your side, that then it's up to you, completely up to you. If you want to put extra efforts, you can do. If you want to put extra effort, you definitely need extra time. Okay, so if you are willing to give the time and you enjoy the process, then work-life balance it's also a balance. Like whatever you put extra, that's also part of your enjoyment, part of your happiness, isn't it? So it's actually not a very clear boundary that if someone tells you that every day you have to work 12 hours and you have to work after going to office also, after going to home also, then it's a work-life balance problem. Okay, that's an organization thing. But if it's a choice that I want to study every day 2 hours extra, then it is your life. You are making a choice in your life. That does not come into the work part. So that is the work-life balance question. And I think there is another question about avionics embedded domain and how and where to start including ADA language also. Okay. So that's a good question. Okay. If someone wants to start in a domain, okay. Suppose someone wants to start like an avionics embedded domain, okay. Generally what we can do, generally if you want to start working in a domain, it's not required that you know the things for the domain beforehand. That's a misconception. Like if you're unless you're working with aircraft motors or aircraft engine, you don't have to have pre-knowledge of it. Okay, you should have the generic skills. Suppose you want to work in embedded avionics domain. Okay, if you're already working in some place and you are already working some technology, okay, you can see that. Look, make a list of companies, okay, working in that particular domain, startups, MNCs, all these things. Okay, then what you do for my particular skill set, is there any vacancy there? Okay, try to apply and go there. Okay, then after reading, you can actually maybe go to a particular thing which you want to work on. Okay, it's not like that if you learn ADA outside, if you are working in automotive industry and you are learning ADA, that is an overstretch. Okay. Plus Python, yeah, okay. All these protocols are required there also. Okay. So it will be helpful if you want to enter into a domain to see the skills what you have. Okay. And if that suits, to enter into the domain, enter with it. Okay. Then once you are in that circle, okay, try to move to the particular location which you want to move. That will be the ideal strategy.
Your voice is breaking again. Yeah, voice is not audible. No, we're not able to hear you. Hello? So in the meantime, I request people to come on video. It's a request so that I can first take a screenshot, because this is one of the best sessions I would like to remember, and I believe even you people want to have it. So please do come on camera. Arul, Bhargav, thanks a lot. Divagar, Ankit, Ajay, Videsh. Ajay is a very regular person now, serious learner. Videsh, Ankit. Okay. Anilji, can you come on video? Three, two, one, go. Okay, we'll wait for him. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I took a screenshot. Maybe some issue with the network. Yeah, now it is proper.
Yeah, some issue.
Yes. So maybe you can continue the answer.
So what I'm telling is the strategy which for Arul, which Arul has asked. The right thing is to get into avionics embedded domain with the skills which you have. then move into the particular team or particular. If you want to work in ADA, you try to do that. In a lot of things common. You see, avionics. But if you take me engines, or if you
Maybe you can switch
take
off
a company which
your video for
display aircraft displays, take a company which you're muted. I think you're muted.
yeah, now it is pretty fine.
So applying the C thing with your current skills, what are the requirements? Use that requirement to get into the company. Then try to explore into a particular section which we like. That's the right thing to do. I think so.
Any more questions? I'll stop the recording.